For nearly a decade, Sam Heughan has been one of the most recognizable faces on television. As Jamie Fraser in the global hit Outlander, he has inspired devotion from millions of fans around the world. His rugged charisma, his heartfelt performances, and his undeniable chemistry with co-star Katrina Balfe turned him into an international star. But while audiences have come to know him through his characters, Sam himself has remained something of a mystery. Unlike many celebrities of his stature, he has guarded his private life with a remarkable degree of discipline. In interviews, he has skillfully deflected questions about relationships, dodged speculation about his love life, and kept details about family or personal matters firmly behind closed doors. Fans might learn about his new projects, his philanthropic efforts, or even his whiskey brand, but when it came to who he was outside the spotlight, Sam offered only silence. And that silence became part of his allure. For years, his fandom thrived on speculation. Was he dating? Did he have a secret romance? Every photo of him with a female friend became fodder for gossip. Rumors of flings, hidden partners, and even marriages swirled endlessly, amplified by tabloids hungry for headlines. The truth, however, was always elusive. Sam's refusal to confirm or deny anything left fans dangling in uncertainty. Some admired his boundaries, applauding his insistence on privacy. Others grew frustrated, even obsessed, convinced that his silence hid something explosive. On social media, debates raged. Dedicated fan groups picked apart interviews, red carpet appearances, and even his Instagram posts for clues. And yet, despite all the noise, Sam never broke. He never gave the world what it craved most: a glimpse inside his private life. Until now. It happened during what was supposed to be a routine appearance, another interview, another conversation about his work, another opportunity to promote his latest projects. The setting was familiar: bright studio lights, a cheerful host, an eager audience. Sam, as always, looked polished yet relaxed, answering questions with his trademark charm. But then, the conversation shifted. The host leaned forward and asked the question fans had wanted to hear for years. Sam, you've been so private about your personal life. Is there anything you'd like to share with your fans today? Normally, this was the moment when Sam would laugh it off, make a joke, or redirect the topic back to his work. That was the routine, safe, predictable, and protective. But this time, something was different. He paused. The smile lingered on his lips, but his eyes seemed more serious, more thoughtful. For a heartbeat, the studio fell silent, as though everyone sensed something unusual was about to happen. And then, for the first time in his career, Sam Heughan decided to answer. His words weren't dramatic or tabloid-ready. He didn't announce a secret marriage or reveal a hidden partner. But what he said was enough to make headlines around the world. He spoke of loneliness, of the challenges of balancing fame with intimacy, of how difficult it was to maintain relationships when your every move was under a microscope. He admitted that keeping his private life separate hadn't always been about secrecy, but about survival, about protecting the small parts of himself that weren't consumed by the spotlight. And though he didn't offer names or salacious details, his honesty was raw. He revealed just enough to peel back the curtain, to let fans see the human being behind the character. The audience in the studio erupted in applause. Social media exploded within minutes. Fans, who had waited years for him to speak so candidly, couldn't contain their excitement. Hashtags trended worldwide. Clips of the moment were shared and reshared, fans flooding the comments with messages of support, love, and gratitude. For many, it wasn't what he said that mattered most. It was that he finally said something at all. After years of silence, the smallest glimpse into his inner life felt monumental. It humanized him in a way no role or scripted interview ever could. But even as fans celebrated, new questions arose. Why now? Why did Sam finally choose this moment to break his silence? Was he preparing for a new chapter in his life, one where he could afford to be more open? Or was this a rare, fleeting moment of vulnerability that he might never repeat? Whatever the answer, one thing was clear. the Sam Heughan who sat on that stage was no longer just the untouchable star who kept his private life locked away. He had opened the door, just a crack, enough to stir hope, excitement, and endless speculation. And as the applause echoed and the internet roared, fans everywhere leaned forward, desperate to hear more. When Sam Heughan finally opened up about his private life, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans who had grown accustomed to his careful silence suddenly found themselves listening to a man willing to peel back the armor. His words weren't a tell-all confession, nor a sensational revelation designed for headlines. Instead, they carried something far more powerful: honesty. Sam spoke with a quiet sincerity that commanded attention. He admitted that keeping his personal life out of the spotlight had been a deliberate choice, born not from arrogance but from necessity. Fame, he explained, often demands a price. The more you give away, the less of yourself you get to keep. He talked about the challenge of intimacy when the world is always watching. How difficult it was to nurture a genuine connection when strangers feel entitled to speculate about every photograph, every glance, every rumor. Relationships, he confessed, had been hard to maintain under the relentless scrutiny. Sometimes, people he cared about were dragged into the public eye simply because of their association with him. And then came the part that left the audience hushed. Sam acknowledged moments of loneliness, of longing for stability beyond the whirlwind of cameras and red carpets. He wasn't immune to the very human need for love, for companionship, for something real that fame could never provide. It wasn't a dramatic revelation, but it was deeply human. In that moment, Sam Heughan was no longer just Jamie Fraser or the glamorous Hollywood star. He was a man confessing that behind the dazzling smile and polished exterior lay vulnerability. The response from fans was explosive. On social media, hashtags like #SamSpeaks and #WeLoveYouSam trended within hours. Comment sections overflowed with gratitude. "Thank you for trusting us with your truth," one fan wrote. "You don't owe us anything, but this means the world." Others shared how his honesty mirrored their own struggles with loneliness and the pressure of hiding vulnerabilities. Some fans admitted that they had always longed for him to speak openly about his personal life, but now that he had, they realized how much he had carried on his shoulders. For many, his words only deepened their respect. Sam wasn't just an actor they adored, he was a human being they could relate to. Of course, the excitement wasn't without its complications. A faction of the fandom, long fueled by gossip and speculation, clung to their own interpretations. Some insisted his comments hinted at a hidden relationship. Others claimed his vulnerability was a carefully crafted PR move. In the whirlwind of online discourse, even the simplest truths could be twisted. The entertainment press leapt on the story, amplifying every phrase. Headlines ranged from "Sam Heughan finally opens up about his love life" to "Outlander star admits to loneliness amid fame." Analysts on talk shows debated the implications. Was Sam preparing to reveal a relationship? Was he signaling a new era of transparency? Or was this simply a one-time moment of candor? The fascination highlighted a sobering reality: that even when celebrities try to speak truthfully, their words are often refracted through the lens of spectacle. Sam's intention seemed clear: to remind fans that he was a person first, an actor second. Yet the machine of celebrity culture threatened to turn his sincerity into just another headline. Still, there was no denying that this moment marked a turning point in how Sam was perceived. For years, his mystique had been defined by what he didn't say. Now, for the first time, fans had heard his voice stripped of pretense. It didn't matter that he hadn't shared names or juicy details. What mattered was that he had let down the walls, even briefly. His words revealed courage. The courage to be seen not as a flawless idol, but as a man navigating the same struggles that many of his fans faced in their own lives. And in doing so, he gave his audience a gift. He showed them that vulnerability is not weakness, but strength. That silence can protect, but sometimes, speaking out can heal. The big question now hangs in the air. Was this the beginning of a new Sam Heughan, one more willing to share himself with the world? Or was it a rare moment, never to be repeated, a fleeting crack in the carefully built facade? For fans, The hope is that he will continue to trust them with glimpses of his inner life. For Sam, the challenge will be navigating how much to give without sacrificing the privacy he still cherishes. What is certain is that his honesty has already reshaped the conversation around him. He is no longer simply the heartthrob who plays Jamie Fraser. He is Sam Heughan, a man who, despite the weight of fame, dares to admit his humanity. As the applause fades and the headlines continue to swirl, one truth remains. Fans will remember this moment not for what Sam revealed, but for the way he revealed it, with sincerity, with vulnerability, and with a courage that left the world both surprised and moved. And now, they wait, their excitement barely contained, to see what Sam will share next.